take a while, it might take time, it might direct.
Good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gents, my fans from the UK, from Zim, H-Town, Chinos, guys, I love you all of you guys. I love you all, guys. Thank you for tuning in. It is My Dreams Reality Podcast, and I'm your host, Alpha Row. And today I've got another very, very special guest. He's the current Mr. Senior Zim, and personally, he's a role model to me. I've always wanted to be, those guys, the ladies who just glance once and they'll just faint, I was like, this guy is my role model. So every time I see him, I'm trying to copy almost everything he'll be doing. But the truth is, I won't be able to do what he did, because I'm not photogenic, but he's photogenic, and he's our current Mr. Senior Zim, is Mr. Future Nyoni, Mr. Nyosto personally to me, so don't call him Mr. Nyosto. That's my own personal nickname, so don't use that. To you, he's Mr. Future Nyoni or Mr. Senior Zim. Mr. Future Nyoni, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Nyosto. Thank you for coming. So, Mr. Nyosto, a lot of your fans, they're kids, high school kids especially the girls. I've heard a lot of guys and a lot of girls, they've all been telling me about how you're photogenic and how you got to be Mr. Senior Zim. I never thought you were into modeling. I never thought you were into that kind of stuff. I usually see you at the gym, and I was like, but when you told me about the whole photogenic thing, I started having those suspicions that this guy could be a model, because I saw the picture and it was so professional, and yet you were not even being professional at that time. So I would personally say you're a natural. You're definitely a natural. So, Mr. Nyosto, today we've got kids of my age. It's no longer like back in the day, the way my parents have been telling me like how things were in 1918 to 1990s and all that stuff. Things are now different. There's now social media. There's now all these other platforms that people can get to make a living out of. So we've got guys who are not that gifted and talented at other stuff, like they can't be a basketball star, they can be a scientist, they can be a doctor, they can be a lawyer, but they are so good at other stuff that has to do with fashion and modeling and all that other stuff. So what our kids would want to know, my friends, my fellow teenagers, what they would really want to know is how you got to start on this journey and how you got to the destination of being Mr. Senior Zim, and how did you get the adversities, how did you overcome everything that came your way, and what sort of motivation kept you in the game?
Well. What I can say is, being a model, to me, it was something that I felt I had from within me. I didn't force myself into this industry, I just love being a model, It's a passion that I have within me. I remember this thing started when I was still very, very, very young at primary school, whereby I could, when I saw those magazines, I would always wish that one day my face should be in one of those.
On the front cover.
Yes.
I'm sure the magazines and the newspaper guys are loving you right now, and the ladies too. It's so hectic out there. A lot of guys, they are so jealous of you, Mr. Nyosto, because you're that guy now. So what were the adversities, Mr. Nyosto? How did you actually get to start? You told me that as a kid you actually knew that you wanted to be on those front covers of magazines, and actually how did you get to take the first step and get on that journey, the real journey?
Okay, well, it wasn't as easy as you are seeing it now.
Yeah.
Because the unfortunate part of it is that I had a very strong rural background. I grew up in the rural areas.
Yeah.
So, as you know, when you're in the rural areas, there's lack of exposure to such things.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yes.
But I find that hard to believe. I didn't know about that. I'm actually getting to find out on the podcast. Mr. Nyosto, what are you doing to me? I'm your neighbor. Yeah, that's what happened, guys. At least I get to know, I didn't know about this, but at least I'll get to benefit from this podcast as well. So that's the story.
So no wonder why it took me quite a while for me to be able to be on the spotlight.
Okay.
Because of my background,
All right.
that lack of exposure. But one thing that I like about myself is that I never gave up on my dream. I never gave up on what I love. So it came a time a few years back. I met this friend of mine who was coming from Bulawayo.
Yeah.
So as we were talking and discussing, that's when I told you, Muti, if you find anything or an advert to do with modeling, please kindly advise me so that I can enroll. Then I pursue my career professionally. So that's how it all started.
And what year was that
And
when you got to talk to your friend about the modeling?
I met this friend of mine, it was around 2015.
2015.
Yes.
Almost 7 years back.
And then I got an advert, he sent me an advert that was around 2017.
2017.
Yes, that's when I started my professional modeling classes.
So did you get to go to the nationals in that same year, or did you have to like compete on a provincial level or regional level and then you get to go to the nationals?
Well, after my training as a model, I participated in a few fashion shows. And then for Mr. Senior Zim 2022, I did that. It was last year in 2021. That's when I went for the competitions in Harare. And that's when I was crowned the Mr. Senior Zim 2022.
Yeah, how beautiful that was. So did you have those kind of rehearsals? Did you rehearse on a daily basis? Did you have a routine for this stuff? Or because a lot of people say, you don't need any sort of rehearsals or routine for doing modeling. It's something that's already in you. It's natural. But I don't believe that. But people also say that you don't need to study, that there are those people who just have that natural, but if you don't study, you definitely fail.
If you have a passion in anything, it's like whatever you do, wherever you are kind of like doing that particular thing that you love.
So it's an everyday thing.
It's kind of like an everyday thing. Even when I'm walking on the road,
Yeah.
It's like I'm on the ramp. So I maximize every moment that I have.
Also, even when you're walking in the street, you try and actually make the whole steps.
Yes, that kind of thing. I just find myself, walking on the ramp, though I'll be walking on the road.
So you'll be envisioning yourself on the stage and the judges doing their
Exactly,
thing.
something like that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like you're dedicated. So when you were
I
there
love modeling.
You love modeling?
Yes, that's my favorite passion, yeah.
Yeah. You're very fortunate that you love it and you're so good at it and you've got the natural talents and to back that up. So, Mr. Nyosto, you said that you had a daily routine and when you're walking in the street, you actually get to practice this thing. So, what you're trying to say to our youths is that they should try to make it like their daily set of tasks, that thing. Like if they're good at that modeling stuff or this drip thing people are now talking about, they have to continuously like go for it, like continuously pursue it, like on an everyday basis, like brushing your teeth.
If there's something that you love and you enjoy doing, my encouragement to you is make sure you try to find time to practice, find time to concentrate on what you love. Because no one's going to call you and sit you down and tell you to go practice your soccer or go for your singing lessons or what.
Yeah.
It has to be upon yourself that whatever opportunity that you get, you maximize that moment and do what you love.
And do what you love.
Yes.
Okay, so do you do that thing like, do you ever go into schools and get to talk to our kids, our guys out there, and get to give them that sort of career guidance, how you actually got to do this, and give them that briefing of how things actually go out there in the professional world?
Well, as far as my modeling career is concerned, I've gone to a few schools, especially in the rural areas, because that's where my heart is.
Okay,
so
because that's where you actually came from.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I'm just
like
encouraging them, telling them, to follow their passion.
Okay, I think that's so good, because I remember when this other year when I was sent to my grandmother's place, my mom was pursuing this other degree in accounting, and she sent us, me and my sister, to go and live with grandmother for about a year. And it was very rough out there. It's like the outside world doesn't exist. You'll be living in the 1980s, and I know. So you did a great thing, Mr. Nyosto, by actually starting where you came from, because you know the situation, like how someone will be feeling when they are there, like most of the guys were not even motivated to do anything. There were clubs, but the clubs were usually empty. I ended up joining about 5 clubs in this other school, and people were saying, "What are we doing this all for?" And I was like, this to me, this is normal. Where I came from, it's actually normal. We get to volunteer, we get to get into clubs. But in the raw area, someone may just laugh at you and say, "No, this doesn't work. You should just get him a farmland, and he gets to do that farming stuff, and that stuff." So was it easy? How was the journey? Was it difficult? And to you personally, was there that time where did that time come like when you doubted yourself, like, am I actually going to hit this score?
Well, I'm one person who believes that there's nothing that is impossible. I can accomplish anything. That's what I kept on telling myself.
Okay.
And now here I am. I've won the Senior Zimbabwe title.
Yes.
Who could have thought that a rural boy could get to such levels? But deep inside me, I knew that I have a dream that I need to accomplish. And I know I'm going far.
So you actually had to keep telling yourself that every single time you felt like things are not actually working.
Yes, self-motivation is very important. If you don't motivate yourself, sometimes you won't get anyone who can encourage you.
Yeah.
So the first thing is to motivate yourself.
All right. Did you have any role models, like people you looked up to, like, I've got this and so, they make me feel this way, they make me want to achieve this and that. Did you have any role models?
Unfortunately, during my early modeling days, I never had anyone I really looked up to.
So it was just you, Mr.
It was just me, loving modeling, that kind of thing.
Okay, so how did your family take it when you actually got to win Mr. Zim? And would you like your son to one day get to be Mr. Zim, or do you want him to have to pursue something else that's totally different from what you did, but actually to be something that he's passionate about?
Well, as you know, modeling has got a lot of misconceptions. Yeah. So it was like they didn't really believe that I can get to such levels.
Okay, so you also shocked your own family, right?
Yeah. Because everyone just doesn't really appreciate modeling the way it should be. But if something is within you, nothing can stop you.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And as for my son, I can't really say I would like him to be a model. Okay. I can't decide his future.
Why? Okay. Can I know the reason behind that? Why you don't want your son to have to take on modeling?
No, I didn't say I don't want my son to be a model. Okay. I'm saying I cannot decide for him to be
so he has
model.
To decide on
Yes.
Okay. So can you tell me about the training? I don't know how you get to train to be a model. I don't know how do you actually get to train. Now, what is the training? Do you get to go to the gym? Do you get to do some hocus pocus exercises and stuff like that? Because I'm sure the guys listening right now, and they would like to know, it's good to get motivated, but sometimes you just need those basic steps of actually how you get it done. I remember watching this other guy, his name is Russell. He won the national gold medal in 100 meters sprint. So I usually get to go to the ground, the school ground, and I would watch them practice and train in these ways I've never seen before. So now this training is the sort of training I'm now doing personally, trying to put myself into that sprinting athletic body. But I'm not trying to be a gold medalist in that field, but I just got to watch them do it. Someone didn't actually get to observe that. But if they were to tell me in detail, I think they would have told me more than what I have observed. So I think it'll be for the kids' best interest if you get to tell them and get to tell me and the fans how you actually got the training, how the training really is, what exactly is the training when it comes to modeling.
Well, there's a lot that goes on into modeling. For example, as a model, you need to look fit, you need to look good all the times. You are taught about hygiene.
Okay.
You're taught about skincare. You're taught about how to relate with people.
Yeah.
You're taught about quite a lot of things. So it's quite a huge thing that you go through.
Okay. So you get a list of do you get a nutritionist? or do you get to manage your own nutrition?
Well, during our trainings, we're introducing nutritionists. They come, they train us on how to prepare or to plan your diet,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
So you get, there's nutritionists, they give you a diet and they tell you the do's and don'ts, and you get to practice that.
Yes.
So you also, I know that you got a gym membership. So technically and obviously people have to get a gym membership to actually get to be.
As a model, you need to always look good. So it's good to exercise.
I'm sure
to
they
keep
won't
yourself
pick
fit.
you to be Mr. Zim when you've got a pot belly and everything's just dangling everywhere. Things are a mess. I know you have a pot belly. So if you're listening, my guy, start lifting weights. When I pass by your house, I'm going to bring you some dumbbells so you get to, get the muscles and get everything on the way. Mr. Nyosto, we are running into the last few minutes of the podcast, and this is the time when we get to ask you very important questions again, but they're more like our tradition. It's our tradition. We have to do this thing. We have to ask you these questions. What I want to know is the top 5. What exactly do kids have to do? We give you a list of with 5 dotted lines, and you have to fill in those 5 lines with 5 points. Those 5 points will be the top 5 advice you have to give to our youths in Africa, not just here in Zimbabwe. Let's not just try to make this Zim thing. This can also stretch all the way to other countries in Africa.
Well, what I can say is, first of all, you need to know who you are. Secondly, yes, you need to believe in yourself. Okay. Thirdly, you need to set goals that you need to accomplish in your life.
So everybody needs to buy a notepad and a pen and they get to tick what they've done and
as a person, you need to have plans, about your life generally.
Okay. What's number 3?
Number 3, don't give up on your dream.
Never give up.
Never ever give up on your dream.
Never giving up is hard. It's easy to say it, but it's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, of course. We come through a lot of obstacles in life, but you need to have a focal point. That in 5 years' time, I want to be on point B.
Okay.
So focus on that. Whatever will come along the way, your eyes should be focused on where you are going.
All right. So what's number 4, Mr. Nyosto?
Number 4.
Before we get to number 5, I'm more interested in the second from last question, because that's where things get to be interesting. That's where you get the gold, that stuff that someone will have to think. I remember in episode number 2, I was interviewing Fitness Fakuru. When they got to point number 4, they started thinking about it. Then it gave us the final point, which was very, very important, the 5th one at the very end of the podcast, which was something that was miraculous because I didn't expect that to happen.
Number 4, whoa. What I can say is number 4, you need to be a giver.
Be a giver. Okay. You just need to be generous.
Yeah, you need to be generous. You need to be someone who can bless anyone at any time.
Right.
Yes, such things will open more doors for you.
All right. So what's number 5?
Wow, number 5.
The very last, and the most important, last but not least.
You need to love yourself.
Love yourself.
The moment you love yourself,
yes,
nothing can stop you.
Okay, very powerful advice from Mr. Nyosto. Mr. Nyosto, there's this talk which is going on around the world. Celebrities are killing themselves and suicide rates are going up, especially teenagers and celebrities, young celebrities and teenagers. So I think this has to do with the youth and fame. So what I want to know is, what is your view on that? What do you have to say? What do you think is actually causing that?
As celebrities, there are a lot of expectations that come from our fans.
Okay.
Those people who look up to us. And many a times as celebrities, we make that mistake of wanting to impress everyone.
Right.
But what I believe is you cannot impress everyone in the whole world.
You can please everyone.
Yes, just be yourself. Just be yourself.
Okay.
Because the moment you want to impress someone, you're giving yourself more pressure. and at the end of the day you fail to perform. So I believe it is important to just be yourself.
All right.
Yes.
So, okay, back on this issue of depression. So when let's say I get this depression, let's say I'm personally depressed, what will you first advise me to do so that I get out of that situation? Let's say celebrity to celebrity, or what sort of advice would you give me, like so that I get out of that sort of situation? Because most of these guys, they are unmarried, number one. Number two, they're young. They got famous when they were maybe 13, and then they get to grow up in that fame and security in that closed space. So what would be the first thing you can tell someone to help someone, advise someone who's depressed before they can go to a counselor or those psychiatrists?
No, what I believe is, as humans, we go through a lot of things that I admit.
Okay.
And we need not to bottle it up. It's good if you are going through difficult times, find someone whom you trust, be it a friend, be it a work colleague, be it a pastor, or whoever that you trust. Share with that particular person whatever is going on with you in your life.
Yeah.
I believe that will lighten the burden on you.
All right. So I will have to tell someone whom I trust and get to share this problem that I'm getting. So okay, let's say I get to go to this counselor and I get counseled and I got help to get out of this depression. But we all know that after you come back from counseling, you're going back into the same situation that got you depressed in the first place. So what sort of changes do I have to make when I come back to my life which caused me this depression, so that I don't get to be depressed again and get to commit suicide?
Yeah, I think you need to, involve yourself in something. Don't be idle. Find something to do.
All right.
Be it sports, you can do swimming.
Yeah.
You can visit family, you can visit friends.
Okay.
There's quite a lot of things that you can do.
Yeah, especially this festive season. I think people should be with their family. Yeah, I think people should be with their family. Mr. Nyosto, thank you very much for showing up to the show, but you have to answer the last question. I promise you this is the very last question, and no one leaves the show without getting to answer this question. Mr. Nyosto, after all you have achieved, you're now Mr. Senior Zim, you're this big model, you're going to all these events, doing all this stuff. Is this your dream's reality?
Well, it's always been my dream to be one of those guys on the top up there. Yeah.
So it's your dream's reality?
Yes, it is, and I'm so happy about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, thank God that you got to get your dreams. Other people are still working on it, Mr. Nyosto. We're still in the foundation, laying out the foundation. Other guys, that they're still, they're now on the roof level, window level. But, I think we should just focus on what we are doing and not look to our neighbor, what our neighbor is doing. But, situations are different. But thank you, Mr. Nyosto. This is My Dreams Reality Podcast. I'm your host, Alpha Rob. We'll see you next time, next Tuesday. Thank you.
Might take a while, it might take time, it might tire, it might tire. Might take a while, it might take time, it might tire, it might tire. Deep down in my heart, 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 I know ngizophumelela. Deep down in my heart, 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 I know ngizophumelela.
Zwana, it might take time, but we get there. It might take a while, but we get there. It might take a long time, but we get there. It might take time, but we get there. It might take a while, but we get there. It might take a long time, but we get there. I look into the future, I don't look back, cause past is past, so you never go back. So I'm down on my knees, Bible in my hand, praying to the Lord, gotta rip my sweat. But the past keeps haunting me, I gotta stay quick, and mistakes keep following, I gotta stay fit. Give me focus, give me direction, like a compass. I pray to God, you're the devil, won't stop us.
Catalina Joe, Catalina Joe, follow me. I got the joy of the Lord. Allow me to say God is good. Let no one upon me. I got the Lord Jesus Christ living in me, flourishing. My life is flourishing. 160, 30, 40, flourishing.
Ain't nobody can stop me. I know where I'm going. Christ is by my side. All I do is winning or losing. He's so been good in my life. Can't count on my blessings. Oh no, I'm favored. Can't you see I'm blessed?
Deep down in my heart, deep down in my heart, deep down in my heart. I know ngizophumelela. Deep down in my heart, deep down in my heart, deep down in my heart, deep down in my heart. I know ngizophumelela.
Zwana, it might take time, but we get there. It might take a while, but we get there. It might take a long time, but we get there. It might take time, but we get there. It might take a while, but we get there. It might take a long time, but we get there.
Deep down in my heart, deep down in my heart. I know ngizophumelela. Deep down in my heart, deep down in my heart, deep down in my heart. I know ngizophumelela.
It might take time, but we get there. It might take a while, but we get there. It might take a long time, but we get there. It might take time, but we get there. It might take a while, but we get there. It might take a long time, but we get there.